If you've ever felt trapped by habits you just can't shake, what if your struggles aren't about willpower at all, but about unhealed pain? Gabor Maté's perspective on addiction might reveal the hidden wound keeping you stuck. We'll be diving into Maté's groundbreaking insights to uncover why true healing isn't about just quitting, it's about understanding the deeper need that drives addiction. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you might see your habits, and yourself, in a whole new light. Welcome, everyone. In this video, we'll dive into Gabor Maté's unique perspective on addiction, why it isn't just about substances or habits, but rather about pain, unmet needs, and a longing for connection. Maté defines addiction broadly. It's any behavior or substance we compulsively engage in despite harmful consequences. It could be alcohol, nicotine, gambling, or even internet use and shopping. On the surface, these look like choices. But as Maté would say, ask not why the addiction, but why the pain. He shifts the question away from, what's wrong with you, to, where does it hurt? Because beneath every addiction is an attempt to soothe or numb emotional pain. This approach resonates with insights from depth psychology, like Carl Jung's concept that what we repress in our shadow can drive our actions from the unconscious. In addiction, there's often a painful wound in our personal shadow. Want to skip straight to the most practical takeaways? Jump to the final section of this video, where we break down actionable steps you can start using today. Maté frequently explains how childhood experiences shape our adult behaviors. If a child's emotional needs, like love, safety, acceptance, aren't met, they learn coping mechanisms to survive. Some become high achievers, masking pain through perfectionism. Others might turn to substances or compulsive habits for relief. Imagine a child who rarely felt safe at home. Maybe a parent was volatile or emotionally distant. This child might grow up feeling unworthy, anxious, or starved for validation. By the teenage years, they discover nicotine calms their nerves or that online gaming becomes a refuge from loneliness. Over time, these once temporary reliefs turn into entrenched addictions because the core wound, feeling unsafe and unloved, remains unhealed. This, Maté argues, is why simply saying, just quit, rarely works. The addicted person isn't just battling chemicals or habit loops, they're battling that hidden wound. We can see parallels in Jung's notion of the shadow, the parts of us we suppress, our unmet needs, fears, or shame, don't just disappear. They surface in harmful ways. So if addiction is rooted in childhood pain, how do we break free? Gabor Maté emphasizes awareness and empathy, both from ourselves and from trusted relationships or professionals. He suggests that recovery isn't about punishing the addiction but befriending ourselves enough to address the pain behind it. In a sense, when cravings arise, your deeper self is asking for attention. As a Jungian perspective might highlight, these hidden drives aren't your enemy, they're clues pointing to unmet needs or repressed pain. Knowing the root of addiction is one thing, making daily changes is another. Let's talk about bridging theory and practice. Tiny daily rituals. Maté suggests that creating moments of nurturing your emotional self can reduce the need for external soothing. Spend 5 minutes each morning checking in. What do I feel today? And how can I be kind to myself? Rewriting your story. If you come from a background of trauma or emotional neglect, it's easy to label yourself as damaged. Maté counters that self-awareness and compassion can redefine your narrative. Instead of, I'm broken, adopt, I survived, and I'm learning healthier ways to cope. Respect the process. Healing emotional wounds doesn't happen overnight. Keep expectations realistic. Relapses or setbacks don't mean failure. Each challenge can be another lesson about what triggers you and why. Because these hidden wounds often run deep, patience and self-compassion are crucial. That's how genuine transformation happens. We've explored Gabor Maté's powerful view on addiction, not as a moral failing, but as a coping strategy for deeper wounds. We covered childhood trauma, the necessity of compassion, and the small yet transformative steps toward genuine healing. Expand your definition of addiction. Recognize if there's any habit in your life you can't easily stop despite negative outcomes. This is your starting point for deeper work. Identify the emotional need. Ask yourself, what emotional state am I trying to escape or regulate when I reach for this habit? Is it loneliness, boredom, or anxiety? Sometimes simply pausing and naming the feeling, I'm stressed, I'm lonely, can stop the autopilot behavior. Acknowledge root pain. Journal or reflect on early life experiences. Were there moments you felt consistently ignored, criticized, or unsafe? Embrace compassion. Understand that addictive behaviors often stem from self-protection. Instead of shame, cultivate self-compassion. You're not weak. You're wounded and seeking relief. Practice self-validation, especially if you grew up feeling invalidated. Remind yourself daily that your feelings and experiences matter. Craving journal. Keep a small notebook or note app. Each time you feel an urge, jot down your mood or situation. Over time, you'll see patterns. Safe spaces and connection. Healing thrives in an environment where you feel seen and understood. This could be therapy, support groups, or a friend who truly listens. Mate references the idea that the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection. If this video resonated, please subscribe for more content on psychology, self-development, and practical mental health insights. Feel free to like and comment below about the part of Maté's approach spoke to you the most. Remember, addiction isn't about willpower alone. It's about tending to the wound beneath the craving. Take care of that wound, and you might just find the peace and freedom you've been seeking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.